Alrighty guys, before we get into the video, make sure to leave a like if you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new. And if you guys want to be notified every time I post a new video, make sure to click that bell for all notifications. I'll see you guys later.
Yo, what up everybody? It is your boy Fitzwong TV here, aka D133, and I want to welcome you guys back here to the Legit Shoot podcast, here with your SmackDown Live review and results for May 14th, 2020. I believe it's May 14th. But I want to welcome you guys back here for the SmackDown review. It's been a long week here on the podcast. It's been a long week here on the channel. I've been giving you guys videos almost every single day, which is a rarity. I usually give you guys about 3, 4, maybe 5 videos in a week, but I think we've had at least one upload every single day this week, which is awesome. So slap a like on this video just for that. We've had the Money in the Bank review on Sunday and the Monday Night Raw review on Monday. Both videos did really well. I want to thank you guys for all the engagement and giving you guys all your thoughts. Everyone that's been chatting with me on Twitter and social media, I want to thank you guys for that as well. I know I don't have the face cam out tonight, but don't be concerned, don't be disappointed. I'm still gonna give you guys the same Fitzmonk you guys expect on every single review. Give you guys my thoughts on everything that happened. But like I said, man, this is the best place for your Monday Night Raw, your SmackDown, and all things WWE, because you guys are going to get the truth. You guys know I don't BS you guys. I don't. But SmackDown, I want to get right into it. Man, if you guys haven't checked out the Money in the Bank review or the Raw review, where, Money in the Bank, we discussed, Asuka and Otis becoming the Money in the Bank winners. And then Monday Night Raw, of course, the big thing, Becky Lynch's pregnancy and how she vacated the Raw Women's Championship. And that's kind of how I want to start off the SmackDown review, And I know I'm one to complain about Becky Lynch a lot, and I got to do a little more complaining. And I don't want to, because Becky's not going to be here for at least a year, but I have to, because WWE, they're still making the same mistakes they always do. And what I mean by that is, all we've heard from WWE since Becky Lynch announced her pregnancy is, and I'm happy for Becky, I'm happy for Seth, but it's been mainly about Becky. And we know that WWE viewed Becky as one of the faces. Some believe she actually was the face of the company. I don't want to get in that conversation, but I would definitely say she was the face of the women's division. She's been the face since Ronda Rousey has been gone. Her Raw Women's Championship reign wasn't the best, but 10, 20 years from now, I'll still be saying that, God willing. But that's not the history. It's not going to really matter in the history books. The history books are going to say Becky held the Raw Women's Championship for 400 days. She held it for a really long time, And it was revealed that, Becky Lynch, her original plans before, because it was revealed that she came to WWE about early in April, like right around WrestleMania time, that she was pregnant. And they had to change everything. The original plan, and remember, I bitched and complained how Becky was not defending her title at Money in the Bank, but the reason for that is because she was pregnant, which is completely understandable. None of us knew that at the time, but the original plan for her was for her to defend the title against Nia Jax, which would make sense, because I legit said that was the most likely feud for Becky coming out of Mania because of the history she has with Nia. She needs a new fresh opponent, and it was revealed that Nia was supposed to be her opponent for Money in the Bank. Becky was going to win clean, and that Shayna Baszler was going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, continuing her feud with Becky. I know I bitched about it, I complained about it, a lot of people did, how Shayna's officially buried on the main roster. I'm not going to say that she's not buried, because, yes, she was amazing on Raw. Her segment with Natalya, that promo she cut on Becky's pregnancy, saying how she would be sitting at home eating bonbons and just look at the father, that child's going to be disaster. Hilarious. Shayna's great, Well, Shayna was supposed to win Money in the Bank, and I know I complained how she didn't even make it to the roof of WWE headquarters, but still, she was supposed to win the Money in the Bank briefcase by WWE standards. I guess everything changed with Becky's pregnancy announcements, which I can understand. And we also found out that on Monday when they did that segment with Becky and Asuka, I still love the way WWE did it. I know some people say they didn't like how Asuka won the title. Some people believe they should have done it in a tournament like JD from NY. But I personally believe that they should have. I have no problem with the way they did Becky's announcement, having the Raw Women's Championship in the briefcase, because it was revealed that Asuka had no idea what they were doing for Becky's segment. She had no idea that the Raw Women's Championship was in the briefcase. She had no idea that Becky was pregnant. So definitely that organic reaction you saw from Asuka celebrating all over the ring on the announce table, and then her fight when she found out she was Raw Women's Champion, and when she also found out that Becky was pregnant, that was all real and organic. And to me, that just makes the moment better. The only problem I had with the segment is I just wish it was in front of a live crowd. As much as I complain about Becky Lynch, I feel like definitely with the fans and how popular she is arguably one of the top 3 most popular in the company. I think Sasha Banks is a little more popular than her, but that's a different conversation. But still, having that moment take place in the crowd was great. And if they had a live audience there, in Full Sail or in a normal arena, if we weren't going through this pandemic, it would be absolutely awesome. But unfortunately, we can't have that. That was the only thing that took away from the Becky segment. But my problem with WWE is they are legit. Every time you turn around, they're mentioning Becky's pregnancy. On Raw, on SmackDown, the commentary team just can't get Becky out of their mouth. Now they're selling a new Becky Lynch t-shirt, even though she's not going to be there for a year. You know how she has the man t-shirt? Now they're selling the mom t-shirt. Like, what? They don't do this for any other female superstar when they're pregnant. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella still get paid by WWE. For certain things like merchandise and endorsements and things of that nature. They still have a contract with WWE even though they're retired. When Nikki and Brie Bella got pregnant, they didn't treat them this special. She's pregnant. Let the woman have her pregnancy in peace. They had a 5-minute video package, and I will say it was a great video package. It was a fantastic video package chronicling Becky's entire career from NXT all the way to last Monday night. Her best moments from when she debuted as the 4 Horsewoman, when her, Sasha, and Charlotte made their debuts on Raw in 2015, all her title victories, her becoming the man when she turned heel on Charlotte, beating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte at the main event of WrestleMania, and all this. And I am working on a video which will probably come out next week on the legacy of Becky Lynch if she chooses not to return, because like I said, changing a mother or becoming a mother changes everything. Things are not going to be the same for her and Seth. Especially her and Seth, they were supposed to get married, but things got changed because of the pandemic. Plus, they're both full-time WWE superstars. How are they going to take care of the child? What's gonna happen? I know Seth's going to be sitting on the road for now, but eventually when the time comes for Becky to have her baby in December, Seth's going to take time off. And what's going to happen once, a couple months have passed, Becky, gets back in ring shape? We don't know what's going to happen. So definitely I have a video working on that, but still my problem is WWE, they're acting like, even if Becky retires, still Becky's had a great run at the top, even though I will say her championship reign has not been good. It hasn't been good in my eyes. But still, the fact that they spent so much time on SmackDown talking about Becky Lynch's reign, giving her this 5-minute video package, I understand, yes, how much WWE loves Becky, but still, it's ridiculous. Let the girl have her pregnancy in peace. Stop using every single moment to talk about it. Instead of focusing so much time on somebody that's not going to be featured on WWE TV for at least a year, focus on building up the next Becky Lynch. Focus on building up the women's division you have now. You have like a Liv Morgan. I'm not saying any of these superstars can be on Becky Lynch's level, but they can definitely be stars in the women's division. So when Becky does come back, we'll want to see matches with them, like a Shayna Baszler, like a Rhea Ripley, like a Liv Morgan, like a Sonya Deville, like a Mandy Rose. Like, you guys see where I'm going with this? Instead of focusing on Becky Lynch, which is in the past. I know it was just this Monday, but Becky Lynch, her pregnancy is in the past. Let the woman have her baby in peace. Focus on building up the next generation of female superstars so they can give us classics with Sasha Banks and Bayley and, all the other greats and Asuka and, Ronda Rousey, because I'm on the bet Ronda will come back before Becky's back, because we all know Becky versus Ronda, it's going to happen at some point. But still, let Becky rest in peace. No pun intended. Let Becky have her baby in peace. Stop spending so much time on SmackDown on a superstar that's not even going to be there. All right? But I just had to get on that little mini rant about Becky really quick. But getting to SmackDown tonight, there was a couple really good things. The best thing on the show tonight was the Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte segment. You had 3 of the 4 horsewomen. They are the faces of the women's division. I know Becky's not going to be there for a while. And, just seeing that segment they had tonight with Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha. And I know I hate Charlotte. You guys know I hate Charlotte. But she was awesome. She cut a really good promo tonight, which we will cover tonight on the podcast. And that was the best thing on the show. They did start a new tournament to crown the new IC champion, Seth Sami Zayn. He's not coming back to WWE. I know there were some people that were unhappy that Sami Zayn was not coming back or was stripped of the IC title. I don't know why they're complaining. Why? WWE's not requiring any of their superstars to be at the tapings. They're not. But the thing about it is, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last. We don't know when things are going to get back to some kind of normal. I hope that things will get back to some kind of normal by the end of the summer, but we don't know. States are starting to reopen, but still, it's going to be a long time until we have fans back in live crowds and things kind of feel like they're getting back to normal, because this pandemic is going to change the way we live our lives and the way we act socially like never before. Things are going to be, different and crazy for a long time. That's something we have to accept. Sami Zayn, he wants to protect his family. I understand that. I know Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bobby Roode, they all live in Canada, and even if they wanted to get to the shows, they can't get into the US because of what's going on. So I understand. Sami Zayn wanted to protect his family, but you think WWE's just gonna let Sami Zayn to sit at home and be IC champion? Not defend the title. If he's not going to be there, you have no choice but to take the title off him. What, you want the guy sitting at home holding the championship for 3, 4, 5, 6 months as long as this lasts? For what? The guy's going to look like a paper champion. He's going to be a champion with absolutely no defenses. It's going to make the IC title look like the 24/7 championship. And I've been complaining for a long time that the IC championship has not been built or not been booked correctly, and that's WWE's fault. And I apologize if you guys hear the rain in the background. It is raining, and there was a tornado warning here in Massachusetts earlier. But everybody's safe. But I just apologize if you guys can hear the rain. Hopefully you guys can't. But I just wanted to explain that really quickly. I understand why they took the title off Sami Zayn. They really didn't have a choice. But, Michael Cole and Corey Graves were talking on commentary how prestigious the IC Championship is. Yes, the IC Championship was prestigious when guys like Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon and, those guys were holding the title back in the day. Because WWE actually cared about championships, making them prestigious, making the superstars holding them matter. Nowadays, WWE treats their championships like garbage, including the IC Championship. Most times, a guy gets a championship, he doesn't hold it for more than 2 months. They make him look like a transitional champion just to get on to the next side, because WWE loves just booking random title changes. Not making them feel special, not building up organic storylines, not building up feuds that the fans actually want to see. I was so happy when Sami Zayn got the IC Championship, because the guy had never won a single championship on WWE TV. He hadn't won a championship since being in NXT. But the guy, outside of his match with Daniel Bryan, the guy just wasn't doing anything with the title. I could definitely I would love to see another match with him and Daniel Bryan. I would love to see a match between him and Drew Gulak, and there's other names on there. But thing is, WWE never booked, him correctly. And it was, even though the fans loved Sami Zayn, it was hard to believe that WWE would ever, build Sami Zayn as a credible champion. They had to take the title off him. And I'm glad they did. When he comes back, whenever things get back to normal, you can easily put him back in the title picture. He can easily go with his heels ways because Sami Zayn is absolutely fantastic at what he does. All right, and then you could easily just have him say, "Oh, I never lost my title. I was never beaten for that title." And whoever's the IC champion at the time, you have a feud right then and there. Maybe Jeff Hardy. I don't know. Thing is, I know they are doing an 8-man tournament tonight, and we did have Elias versus Baron Corbin. The match was garbage. I don't care about Baron Corbin. I don't care about Elias. Even though Elias is, he's trying to make this babyface run work, but I feel like Elias really needs the crowd there to really get behind his gimmick, because him playing his guitar and singing for the fans at home, yes, it's sweet and all, but Elias' gimmick works best when he's in front of a live audience. And plus, the guy is pretty generic when it comes to the ring. He doesn't do anything special. I was surprised when Elias got the roll-up win on Baron Corbin, just because it's Baron Corbin. WWE loves Baron Corbin, but Elias did win via roll-up, and he will be moving on to the semifinals. We also had Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. And, these two put on a fantastic match at the Elimination Chamber a couple months ago. This was another really good match. It wasn't as good as their Elimination Chamber match, but the match was good. Daniel Bryan did get the win, and I definitely think Daniel Bryan's one of the favorites to win this tournament. Do I think he'll win this tournament? Probably not. And the person I think will win this tournament isn't even on SmackDown, which we'll talk about in just a second. The only reason why I don't think Daniel Bryan's going to win this tournament is because I know Bryan's going to be leaving any day now. Because Brie Bella's, and I know the Bella twins are both having babies. And I know Brie's going to be due soon. So, Bryan's definitely going to be taking paternal leave when that happens. Plus, Daniel Bryan's going to be renegotiating his WWE contract this summer, which I believe he'll re-sign. I have no doubt that Bryan will re-sign. But it's definitely coming. Bryan and Gulak did have a really good match tonight, but I definitely think Bryan's one of the favorites, but I just don't see him winning just for those reasons. If he didn't have those reasons, I would probably pick Bryan to win this whole tournament. I know Nakamura's in the tournament. I know we're getting Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy next week for the first round of the tournament. And we have AJ Styles. Yes, AJ Styles from Monday Night Raw is in the tournament. I thought they were going to build AJ Styles up to potentially face Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship on Raw. I would really love to see Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles maybe at SummerSlam, or Drew McIntyre versus Edge, or they might do McIntyre versus Lesnar again. It's going to depend to see if things get back to normal. But the thing about it is, I thought they were going to build AJ Styles up for the WWE Championship. No, I know they're doing this whole brand invitational, and I'll say this, it's not as bad as the wildcard rule was, because the wildcard rule was absolutely atrocious. It was just basically an excuse so WWE could get Roman Reigns on all the shows and all their favorites. But I don't really mind the brand invitational that much. I'm much rather just WWE merge the tag team and women's divisions. But it's whatever. We're just gonna have to accept what WWE gives it. Because they'll never listen to us. Vince, I will say one thing about Vince. Vince did make one great move, and it was reported that earlier this week that Vince was the guy who made the call for the short pay-per-view at Money in the Bank. It was stated that, Vince wants to have shorter pay-per-views because of the pandemic. He doesn't want to have 3-4 hour pay-per-views, which I completely agree with him. Having a WWE pay-per-view start at 7 and end by 9:30, 10 o'clock at the maximum, I have no problem with that. And I definitely think they should follow that format when we do get back to normal crowds. I'm not saying, when we get back to live crowds, give us a 2.5 hour pay-per-view. It's a short, but hey, look at NXT TakeOver. Look how good those shows. They have amazing pacing. The main roster should definitely follow that kind of format when we get back to normal crowds. Because, really, you don't need to have 10 to 15 matches on every single card for every single pay-per-view. Having about 7-8 matches, it's not, that's fine. That would be great. And I hope WWE continues to follow that format. But that was a little bit of a side note. But back to the IC Championship, with the brand invitational. We know we're getting AJ Styles on SmackDown next week. Baron Corbin's going to be on Raw. Charlotte's appearing on SmackDown this week. And she'll be back next week with a match against Bayley. But the thing about it is, I don't mind it. It's not as bad as the wildcard rule. I know WWE's only doing this because they want to try to get the ratings up. I don't know if it will help the ratings. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't think Charlotte is going to be, the person to bring the ratings to where they need to be. But, we'll just have to wait and see. But, I could go off on AJ Styles being in the IC Championship tournament, and you guys know I love AJ Styles. He's one of my favorite he's like my favorite male wrestler outside of Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole. But the guy shouldn't be in the tournament. If you really wanted to have a Raw superstar in the IC tournament, it should have been somebody from the mid card that could, use the tournament to become a bigger star. That's what tournaments should be meant to do. Why you think the King of the Ring tournament is such a big deal in WWE? You should be using these tournaments to build up younger superstars and make them look like stars. That's the whole point. AJ Styles doesn't need the IC championship. We all know AJ Styles is best being in the main being in the world title picture. We know he's one of the best wrestlers in the entire world, and we know that he views him as one of their top guys. I'm one of the best styles will win the championship because why not? WWE wants to have shock value. Oh, a Raw superstar winning the IC championship. The IC championship's supposed to be exclusive to SmackDown. Like, come on, it's going to happen. You know how WWE operates. They have Charlotte, the NXT Women's Champion, who is supposed to be exclusive to Monday Night Raw, but she appeared on SmackDown. All right? And they have Charlotte out here talking about, yeah, I'm so good, they got me working 3 brands. Please. Like, I would not, I'm willing to bet WWE will do it just because. Why not? And they were talking about how AJ Styles, the only championship that he hasn't won on the main roster is the IC Championship. The only singles title, at least. Which doesn't make sense because I don't think he's been Universal Champion. But that's besides the point. He's been WWE Champion. He's been a United States Champion. I don't think he's won the tag team titles. But, hey, you guys get my point. But if you really wanted a Raw superstar to be in the IC Championship tournament on SmackDown just to juice it up, why don't you put someone like an Aleister Black or an Apollo Crews, even though I know Crews is injured, or maybe I don't know, an Angel Garza or an Austin Theory or something like that. It doesn't have to be AJ Styles. AJ Styles is already a main man. He doesn't need the IC Championship. Yes, him holding the title would probably elevate the championship, kind of similar to what John Cena did to the U.S. champion, because we know how good AJ Styles is. But he doesn't need to be in the title picture. All right? He doesn't. But I'm willing to bet AJ will win this tournament. I'm definitely going to see how this tournament goes on. Like I said, Bryan and Elias do move on next week. Next week, we'll be getting Shinsuke Nakamura versus Styles, which should be a good match, even though it's going to be heel versus heel, which you guys know I hate. But those two will be renewing their rivalry from back in 2018 when AJ was WWE champion. And we will be getting Hardy versus Sheamus. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm willing to bet Styles will probably defeat Nakamura. And Hardy versus Sheamus, that could go either way. I would love to see Sheamus become IC champion. I love what they've been doing with Sheamus lately. I feel like, Sheamus becoming IC champion would be a great move, So maybe they'll have Sheamus defeat Hardy, become IC champion, and maybe later on, maybe Hardy gets his payback on Sheamus for the IC championship. I don't know, but that's just something to throw out. So I wanted to get the IC championship tournament out of the way. The other thing, before we get to Sasha, and I know I'm saving the Sasha segment for last. Not a lot happened on this show tonight. We had the IC tournament, the IC Championship tournament. We had Otis, Miz and Morrison, and Braun Strowman. There was no Fiend tonight, but we'll talk about that. And what happened between Sasha, Charlotte, and Bayley. But getting back into it. Yes, Otis started off the show with being on Miz TV with Miz and Morrison. I love Otis, man. The guy is amazing. He's hilarious. I was complaining that, we haven't seen Tucker, Otis's tag team partner, and it seemed like they're making Otis into a major babyface single star. It's not that I don't want it. It's just that Otis, he doesn't need to be a singles competitor. The guy's great at what he does, but I want to see him and Heavy Machinery, him and Tucker, win some tag team gold. I want to see them, become one of the best teams in all WWE because they have the potential. Just look at that gauntlet match we had with Heavy Machinery a couple weeks back. But right now, Otis is Money in the Bank, which I don't have a problem with. Like I said on the Money in the Bank review, I don't see Otis winning the Universal Championship. I just can't, but I wouldn't be surprised. I know that Vince is really high on Otis, and I'm kind of glad because it's rare to see a guy like Otis, reach this kind of superstardom. But hey, I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm afraid that when Otis does cools down, I'm afraid that WWE won't push him to this level again. I don't want to see Tucker get put to the background, but I at least appreciate WWE mentioning Tucker, because Miz and Morrison, they did challenge Otis to a tag team match, and Otis did say Tucker was unfortunately not able to be there tonight. Could this play the future storyline plans between the duo? We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, Miz and Morrison, they went through Otis's life. They showed some photos of Otis's childhood, from when he was a baby, when he was a mom, and how we learned how he had a learning disability. He had to be homeschooled by his not homeschooled, but his mom really had to educate him because he would struggle in school. Otis is a really cool guy. It's kind of great to get to see his background. The guy's so playful and joyful, and he clearly loves what he does. And I'm happy to see somebody like him get to this level of success in WWE. The guy's on top of the world. He has Mandy. He has the men's Money in the Bank briefcase. Things are going really well for him, and I'm happy. I just hope WWE doesn't, bury the guy eventually, because he can't stay this hot forever. But I'm glad Otis is getting this major push. But Miz and Morrison, they were making some jokes about Otis, his weight, his childhood, and they were joking how Otis was using the Money in the Bank briefcase as a lunchbox as he was going around. Not only was the contract in there, but he would keep food in there. Miz had a point where Miz talked about when he won Money in the Bank in 2011, how he used it to elevate himself, but Otis is just trashing the legacy of the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I don't disagree with, but think about this, it's Otis. The guy's playful and loving. I kind of like Corey Graves said a very good line on commentary. Does Otis really understand the amount of power he has with the Money in the Bank briefcase? Because that briefcase guarantees him a Universal Championship opportunity, or any championship opportunity, whenever he wants for the next year. And I don't see Otis cashing in anytime soon. And if I'm WWE, I wouldn't have him cash in anytime soon. Asuka, she won the Raw Women's Championship. Let Otis hold the briefcase for, most of the summer. Maybe going even into the fall. Like, really tease it up, And maybe when we least expect it, maybe when we get a live audience back, that's when you have Otis cash in. I know there was some rumors saying that Otis might use the briefcase for the tag team championships, which I wouldn't mind at all. That would be really unique. Alright, because some people forget you can use the briefcase for any championship, not just a world title. He can use that title for the tag team championships, and it would go to Otis's character, how he would use the briefcase not for himself, but for him and Tucker, for them to become SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I would not mind that at all, and I don't even think they knew they were on the show tonight. We did get a promo from the Forgotten Sons, but I'll be honest with you guys, I was, using the restroom. I didn't really care. But anyway, I liked what they did tonight with Otis, and Miz got pissed, and he's like, "You're a joke. You don't deserve that briefcase. It just fell into your hands at the right time because you couldn't even climb the ladder." Whatever. And then they challenged him to a tag team match, and Otis would have to find his own partner because, like I said earlier, Tucker, it wasn't able to be there tonight. So Otis is going on backstage. Sweet Otis is, he asked Sheamus, he asked a heel to be his partner, and Sheamus said no way in hell. And then they had Otis ask Braun Strowman, or no, it was Mandy. Mandy, Otis's girlfriend, told Otis, ask Strowman. And, this made things kind of interesting because, of course, Strowman is the Universal Champion. And, what's to say there's a moment where Strowman is down during their match tonight, Otis could cash in right then and there, become Universal Champion. So that was an interesting plot line. Otis goes up to ask Strowman about being his partner. Strowman says, I'll think about it. It takes guts, and I respect you, so I'll think about it when the match does come later in the main event. And I know I'm skipping because I really want to talk about Sasha Banks to end the show, or to end tonight's podcast. So, but Strowman says he'll think about it. We jump to the main event. Otis comes out, and it looks like Strowman's not going to appear. Looks like it's about to be a handicap match. But at the last moment, Strowman does appear to be Otis's partner. The two win the match. Strowman defeats, or they win the match when Strowman hits a running power slam on Morrison. They're making Strowman look dominant, which, I don't mind, because that's the way your world title, your world champion should look. And then right after the match, Otis and Strowman are celebrating. Mandy comes out to celebrate with Otis. There was a brief moment where Strowman was looking at Mandy and Otis was dancing and walking up to Strowman, acting like he was potentially thinking about cashing. Strowman looks behind him and Otis just says, no, I'm just playing with you. I'm just joking around. They fist bump each other. Otis and Mandy kiss. Then the show, Otis is, having fun. Strowman's holding up the Universal Champion. So a nice, good way to end the show. Like I said, there's no rush for Otis to cash in. There really is no rush. They can take their time with this as much as they want. I want Otis to hold on to that briefcase for most of the rest of the year. Make it, build up to it. Don't just have him cash in randomly. Let us all think of, maybe there's a moment where Strowman or Bray Wyatt or somebody is down, and then right at that moment, Otis comes out and he cashes in. Like I said, I feel like the perfect opportunity for Otis to cash in would be when things get back to normal, when we have live crowds. If we have live crowds by the end of the year, have something like that, because the live wasn't there at WrestleMania to get to see the Otis and Mandy storyline. All the fans were invested into it. It was the best thing on, the main roster going to WrestleMania outside of Randy Orton and Edge. And, that moment between Mandy and Otis when they kiss in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania, that should have taken place at Raymond James Stadium with 80,000 people. Let's be serious. We all know that's what should have happened. But because of the times we're living in, that couldn't happen. So, to make up for that moment, have Otis cash in when we have a live audience. All right? It'll be special. The crowd will definitely be behind it. And we'll all love it. Imagine, I'm just saying, what if Roman comes back? We don't know when Roman's going to come back, but what if Roman comes back by the end of the summer and he becomes Universal Champion by beating Strowman or Wyatt or something like that? And then, there's a good amount of us that don't like Roman Reigns, right? And we have a live crowd. Roman has a match one night and he's down and out, and Otis comes in. Imagine how great a moment that would be. I just want to throw it out there. But definitely, like I said, a good way to end SmackDown tonight. Even though there's nothing special really happened on the show outside the Sasha Banks segment, which we're just about to talk about in a couple seconds. But like I said, have Otis hold on to that briefcase for a while. Do not rush the cash in. All right. All right. But now let's get into it. The best part of the show tonight. The best part of SmackDown every week. Sasha Banks. I don't know, man. I got to figure out where Sasha Banks gets her outfits. Money in the Bank, you have her coming out in that red leather tight dress. No one was paying attention to Bayley and Tamina. We're all looking at Sasha Banks on the outside. And now tonight, she comes out in a cheetah print. She knows how to dress. When Sasha wins the SmackDown Women's Championship again, man. Oh, man. Woo! And she's coming out each and every single week with those outfits and the title around her waist. Lord have mercy on all of our souls. But Either way, all right. Charlotte comes out. They kept hyping up how Charlotte was gonna be on SmackDown tonight. She comes out, and first off, her promo didn't start off well. The first thing is, she goes like the SmackDown executives crunched the numbers, and it was revealed that SmackDown needed Charlotte to boost the ratings. All right. And Charlotte also said something terrible. She's like, "Oh, the people want more Charlotte Flair," and I was like, No, the people don't want Charlotte Flair. It's bad enough that we have to watch her on Monday night and on Wednesday because she's the NXT Women's Champion. Now I have to see her 3 times a week because not only was she on SmackDown tonight, she's going to be on SmackDown again next week. Like, are you kidding me right now? I don't want to see more Charlotte. I want to see less Charlotte. Even though she cut a great promo tag, which we're getting into right now. But the first part of her promo was horrendous. I knew that Bayley and Sasha was going to come out, especially since Charlotte wasn't wearing any ring gear. But Charlotte starts talking about her resume like usual, talking about how she's won, 5 SmackDown Women's Championships, how, she's a 12-time champ, blah, 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 blah. All right? Bayley and Sasha comes out, and then, like Sasha and that cheetah print. Woo! Ooh-wee mama. Or Zooey mama, like they said in the Diary of the Wimpy Kid books. Zooey mama when Sasha Banks comes out. But basically, Bayley starts talking crap to Charlotte, like, haha, Bayley, Bayley's like, oh, Charlotte, what are you doing here? Last time you were on SmackDown, I defeated you for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That was way back in October. Right when SmackDown first was premiering on Fox. Then Charlotte's like, ha ha ha, it took you getting a really bad haircut and changing your entire appearance and character to beat me. Whatever. It was kind of a lame response by Charlotte, but whatever. Then Bayley starts talking like, why don't you get off our show, reference to her and Sasha, and go back to NXT, and give the young woman, the up-and-comers, some good advice. Or go back to Raw and having your little matches with Liv Morgan. So Bayley was, coming up with some really good roasts to Charlotte. But like I said, Bayley is great as a heel. Bayley's really found her footing as a heel. When she first became heel, she was a little bit cringe. Like, you guys remember, like, that first Miss TV segment she had when she first turned heel. I think that was the first night she came out with the new entrance and the music and all that, and Sasha was by her side. Like, if you compare that Bayley to the heel Bayley we have now, it's a completely different character. I think Bayley has really done a good job finding her footing as a heel, and it's going to make it even better when we get her rivalry with Sasha any day now. But, yeah. So basically, Bayley's talking all this crap to Charlotte, and Sasha is just sitting in the background, making her facial expressions, but she's not really saying much. All right. Then Charlotte's like, ha ha ha, and then she kind of moves, and I like this, Charlotte moves Bayley to the side. Whenever the 4 horsewomen are in the ring together, it's magic. As much as I hate and I can't stand Charlotte, and then she's so robotic, when the 4 horsewomen, or just 3 of them, are in the ring together, they just know each other so well. They know their characters, they know their history. It's just great. All right. But I knew when Charlotte was first announced for SmackDown, we were gonna get something like this. And like I said, I hate Charlotte, but she did a fantastic job with this promo tonight. So she moves Bayley to the side, like, all right, Bayley, I've had enough of you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm here to talk to you, Sasha. All right, and then Sasha gets real serious. He's not really joking. And you guys know the history between Sasha and Charlotte. They had one of the greatest women's rivalries of all time. I still will never forgive WWE for having Sasha lose to Charlotte, especially at Hell in a Cell 2016 at her hometown in Boston. I was there. I cry about that moment in that match to this day. Sasha should have never lost that match. But still, anyway, Sasha and Charlotte, and you could feel the tension between them, because they've had some really great matches. Charlotte goes looking at Sasha like, wait, what's happened to you? You're one of the greatest of all time, one of my greatest rivals. You're a 6-time women's champion, which I guess that's counting her tag team championship victory and her NXT title reign. Plus the 4 Raw Women's title victories, which are still kind of meaningless, but still, you guys know the drill. She's like, "What's happened to you? You're a 6-time women's champion, a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time, and can you really tell me you're content with being Bayley's lackey, right?" Charlotte goes to Sasha. The only reason why Bayley's still SmackDown Women's Champion is because of you. And then, Bayley goes like, "Hey, all right, shut your mouth. All right, all this other stuff." But everyone knows it's facts. Bayley, yes, Bayley's been a great SmackDown Women's Champion, but everyone that Bayley's been in the ring with, there's been no point. There's been really no point during her reign outside of WrestleMania when I thought Bayley was not going to lose the title. No matter if she was going up against Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Carmella, Lacey, Naomi, Tamina, she's beaten everybody on the SmackDown Women's roster. But there was really never a time when I thought Bayley was actually in danger of losing that title. We all knew from the second Bayley won that title, the only legit contender to Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship was Sasha. Alright, it's why they teased Sasha versus Bayley since they both got on SmackDown last fall. They've been building up to this, and I'm glad we didn't get at WrestleMania. And we all know, most likely at SummerSlam, that's when we're finally going to get the Sasha and Bayley match. They're slowly building up to it. And Charlotte did a fantastic job of building up that tension tonight. Alright, she's basically looking at Sasha like, "Are you really okay with being the second fiddle to Bayley? Like, what happened to the legit boss? What happened to the person that wanted to be the champ, who wanted to run the division? Are you really okay being, a second fiddle? Are you like..." And, it's like Charlotte's telling Sasha, "You need to wake up. Like, show me the boss that battled with me for the Raw Women's title throughout all of 2016. Where's that, Sasha Banks?" Alright? And you can see Sasha's really thinking. And then Sasha goes up, Sasha pulls the mic. And like I said, the key to this is Sasha's facial expressions. Because even though Sasha hasn't said anything, anytime when a question comes up between her and Bayley's friendship, and Sasha wanted to be SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha, every time she's about to say something, Bayley interrupts her. And then Sasha's facial expressions tell the whole story. Like, you can tell Sasha's getting a little more and more pissed off every single time Bayley interrupts her. It's like Bayley won't let Sasha be her own person. And then Charlotte asked Sasha, alright, at the end of the segment, "Are you your own woman? Yes or no?" And then Sasha raised the mic up and she got interrupted by Bayley again. And like I said, it's gonna get to the point where Sasha's gonna snap. We all know Sasha's eventually gonna turn babyface. Alright, and I think it's gonna happen when Sasha snaps and she's just had enough of Bayley. Because you could tell they're building it up that, alright, Sasha's tired of being Bayley's lackey. She's tired of being Bayley's bitch. And then eventually she's going to have enough in the snap. And if we had a live audience, it would be a great moment. But we probably won't have a live audience by the time their rivalry starts. Like I said, we all believe Sasha versus Bayley is going to happen at SummerSlam. And they're slowly building more and more tension between the two as the weeks go by. And Sasha is doing a great job. So is Bayley, but Sasha is being the MVP of this whole thing. Her facial expressions, her body language, you can tell that she's getting more and more fed up with Bayley by the week. And she's going to snap on Bayley eventually. Maybe they'll use the hacker to, bring that to light. Who knows? But either way, man, I'm loving what they're doing here. Bayley did challenge Charlotte to a match next week, and we will be getting that. I'm guessing Sasha will be at ringside. We'll have to see if there's any more tension. I'm kind of glad we're not getting Sasha versus Charlotte, because I don't think Sasha would win the match. Just because I read a thing that Sasha hasn't won a one-on-one singles match since last year, since December of last year, which is ridiculous. Like I said, that's absolutely ridiculous. The greatest female wrestler of all time, and she hasn't won a singles match since last year. Really, WWE? You can do better, and we all know that. Alright? Definitely when Sasha Banks turns babyface, she definitely needs to start winning singles matches again. I remember back in the day, Sasha, there was a stat where, it was stated that Sasha had won the most singles matches out of any woman on the roster, out of all the active competitors. I'm willing to bet she probably doesn't hold that record anymore. I'm willing to bet it probably belongs to Charlotte. Probably I don't even think if it belongs to Becky, because Becky was barely wrestling on WWE TV even before her pregnancy announcement. So I don't know, but definitely Sasha needs to start winning singles matches again and fast. All right, she's too good to not have a singles victory in this year. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. But either way, man, the tension is there between Sasha and Bayley. Like I said, it's still 3 months till SummerSlam. I know, like, it's a slow process. It's a slow build. And it's going to be interesting to see. They might use the hacker to review something that, cuts the rope between Sasha and Bayley and their friendship. But, like I said, I'm loving how we're getting more and more tension between Sasha and Bayley. Eventually, Sasha is going to snap. And I can't wait to see how they're going to do it. Will Bayley defend the SmackDown Women's title at Backlash, which is WWE's next pay-per-view? We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I wouldn't have her defend the title just because she's defeated basically everybody on that roster. Really, there's nobody that deserves a SmackDown Women's Championship opportunity on that roster outside of Sasha. But like I said, it's going to be interesting how they build towards the Sasha and Bayley match. We still have 3 months till SummerSlam. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, man, I am loving, what they're doing with Sasha and Bayley right now. And I got to give credit to Charlotte. As much as I hate her, she did a great job with the segment tonight. Great promo. Whenever the 4 horsewomen are in the ring, man, it's magic. It's gold. I'm still waiting for us to get that MMA woman versus 4 horsewoman feud, and definitely I don't understand why we never got it, especially when all 8 women were signed under WWE contract. Maybe we'll get it when Becky comes back next year, if she comes back. Ronda's gonna eventually come back, so hopefully we eventually get the match, but we'll just have to wait and see on that, man. But then Charlotte versus Bayley next week. That's going to be very interesting. That might be the main event of the show next week. We'll just have to wait and find out. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. What's the next layer of tension we get between Sasha Banks and Bayley? I cannot wait to find out. But yeah, that last thing before we end the podcast, there was no mention of Bray Wyatt or The Fiend on tonight's show. We did see after Bray Wyatt lost to Braun Strowman at Money in the Bank, we did see Bray Wyatt fading into The Fiend. They had little screen caps of The Fiend's face showing up, and I definitely think The Fiend will be Braun Strowman's next opponent since Bray Wyatt, Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt, couldn't get the job done at Money in the Bank. I think that's where The Fiend comes in, and The Fiend will be used to get the job done and get the Universal title off of Strowman. So that's just my thoughts on that. It would be interesting. Would Otis ever cash in on The Fiend? Do you guys think that would be interesting? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section or in the premiere chat. Do you guys think Otis cashing in on Fiend, would that be a cool thing or not? Let me know. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. That's about it for the Legit Shoot podcast here tonight. Want to thank you guys for joining me here. If you guys haven't yet, slap that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Thank you guys for the support, man. If you guys haven't, check out the Money in the Bank review and the Raw review. Those were two of my best podcasts of the year. Share it out and let people know what we're doing here on the channel. Thank you guys for the support. Follow me on social media if you guys want to talk to me about wrestling, anime, anything like that. Social media is the quickest way to connect with me. I love chatting with you guys. Thank you guys for the love and support one more time. Have a great night. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.